Okay, the next thing is I might as well just take care of the rest of these components so that they can be able to activate or enable this checkbox. So what I will do is let's come right in here, double click on that and just repeat exactly the same thing. So that will be txt, no it's not txt, sorry, chk arrange dot enable equals true. All right, there. Okay, so I'll just repeat exactly the same thing to this other one. Double click on, let's double click on this one as well. So that is chk meatballs. There. Now the next one here is meat. chk meat. Paste. And then we have chk broccoli. There we go. Okay, now I reckon you guys get the whole idea. I'm just gonna speed that up. Okay, the single line of code to enable the checkbox are completed. Let me just show it to you guys. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is use an event to change the color of the buttons. So let's come in here. You see all of these buttons, I'm going to group them all. Then we have a couple more. Let's increase these 3 buttons and right here, so that when the mouse is over it, it changes color. So let's come into property here, and here make sure you select the event, and the event I intend to use is going to be mouse enter. Right there, mouse enter, and let's give it a name. So I'm going to just call it change color. Just a simple name, change color. Press enter. There, that's the function I intend to use. So let me create an object. I'll call it button b color equals enter button in bracket, and we then going to use the sender enter semicolon. That's the sender right there. Now let's go for the changing of color. So b color dot background color or back color equals, so let's go for color dot light, I think it's light steel blue. Yeah, I like that. There we go. There, that is the color. So once the mouse enter, that's what happens. So I'm going to copy this, but before that, let's come in here and run it so that you guys see what I'm talking about. And there we go. You see that as soon as my mouse enter, you see the light steel color there. All right, let me close that. Yes, exit. Now let's come back. In fact, let's run it. I didn't even run all of these ones so that you guys see how it works. There we go. You see how that works? All right. Okay, let's close that anyway. Now make sure all of the buttons are still selected. Now come back to the property. Now we want to use another event in the mouse leave. Okay, once the mouse leave, I'm going to call it color change. Right there, press enter. Okay, I'm going to paste the content I copied here, paste it right in there, but the difference this time is it's going to be color dot from known color this very one here, known color, enter a bracket and enter known color, this very one, and the known color in this case is control. There we go. Control is the default color. So if I run it now, let's run it, you guys see what I'm talking about. And there we go. Mouse enter, mouse leaves. You see that, guys? And let's do the same thing here. Can you see that? So with just those two lines of code, that's taken care of. Okay, now you are aware of the fact that when I click on any of the button, that enables this, and when I click on this very button, I would like this to enable this. So let's play around with that now. Okay, we end this and let's go straight into the code. Double click on the checkbox for Apple, and right in there we're going to use an if statement. If chk apple dot checked, let's compare it, equals is to compare, equals true. Then right here we have a curly bracket there, and we enter txt apple dot enable equals true, and txt apple dot text equals empty. Then we set focus. Yeah, that is that, and there. Okay, now the next thing we want to do is to repeat the same thing for the rest of the components. So which means if I copy this, I can always come in here. So let's click on right here, click on the meatballs, and just change all of these to meatballs. So instead of doing it individually, I'll just speed it up and I will then get back to you guys. And that is that for the meatballs taken care of. Alright, so let's speed that up now. Okay, we finished with this, the coding for the checkbox. So let me show it all to you guys. There we go. Those are the coding for the checkbox. So what's happening is if any of the checkbox equals true, then the text box become enabled and clear the content in there, and focus is set on any of the text box, else the opposite will take precedent. So that is it right here. See, okay, so let's run it. It's just exactly the same lines of code. There we go. If I click on this beacon there, you see that, then I can enter something in there. Okay, but there's another problem. You see I can enter characters in there that should be allowed. Right, so I should only be able to enter just numbers in there. So we have to take care of that now. So to take care of that, we're going to select all of this text box. Let's select it all, take it up and bring it right down. I'm going to select these ones as well. I don't want the group box. Alright, so let's come to the property and just look for, that should be key press, right? Let's say numbers only, numbers. Okay, double click on that, and right in here, that is the function declared for it. Just enter as follows. That's it for numbers only. Okay, so let's try that out. Let's run it and see. There, if you enable any of them, and you try to enter character, no, but you guys will be able to see it. Let me get the keyboard out. Okay, right there we have the keyboard now, so let's try it again. So let's go for Apple, and in there we have to make sure we enter just characters. So that's impossible, we must enter just numbers. Okay, so if we click on there, let's move this very near. Okay, you see that, guys, but I cannot enter anything but numbers. Impossible, it has to be numbers. Okay, so that's fine, so that's taken care of. All right, so close that, we don't need that anymore. Okay, the next thing is to ensure that the sales assistant do not mistakenly leave any of the text box unattended. So for example, just mistakenly go to the next text box and do nothing about the one up there or the one below or whatever. So what we will do in that case is we have to create something to do with mouse move or something. So let's come in here, let's close that, and let's group all of those. I'm going to group all of this and the form, and now make sure the form itself is selected. Come in here. So the event will be mouse move or mouse over. That's it. So mouse over. So let's double click on that. There, right in here. I will then enter the following lines of codes. So if txt apple dot text equals nothing, then I would like it to default itself back. Txt apple dot text, make that 0 in there. Okay, then this one should be equals. Then I want the chk apple dot checked equals false, and let's disable it as well. Dot enable equals false. Okay, let's disable this text box as well, because there's nothing in there anyway. Let's enable equals false right there. So let me show you what will happen in this case. If I run it now, come in here, enter some value in there, and in here there's nothing in there, and mistakenly just move away. You see that the system default back. Alright, once you leave it empty, the system will immediately default back. Yes, you have to make some kind of movement. Okay, so that is that done. So I'm going to repeat the same thing, just speed that up for the rest. Okay guys, we've completed the coding for that, so let me just show it to you guys. It's the same lines of codes anyway. So you take it to the top, it's all the same lines of codes. Alright guys, so let me just run the program for you guys to see now, so you see what I'm talking about. Okay, let's run it. So that's the function used, and that's the rest of the codes. Alright, let's run it and you see it. So if I select an apple and just move away from there, not intentionally, come in here, and you see that defaulted back to 0 automatically. Alright, so with that guys, I'm going to call it the end of this tutorial. I'll see you guys in the third part of this tutorial.